You already know what's going on. 1945 Pacific Theater. This theater encompassed conflicts that took place in the Pacific Ocean and the surrounding regions, primarily between the Allies and the Japs. The Battle of Ramree took place in 1945 as part of the Burma Campaign, which aimed to retake Burma from the Japs. Ramree Island was strategically important because it was located on the path of the Allied forces' advance to reach Jap-occupied Burma. The Japs captured Burma in 1942 and turned it into a stronghold. But in 1945, the tide of the war had changed. 26th Indian Infantry Division enters the picture. They received orders that they needed to launch an assault on Ramree Island soon. The Japanese forces on Ramree were no joke. They were led by Kenichi Nagasawa. They were armed with artillery and 1,000 loyal Japanese soldiers. They were a formidable opponent. The scene was set for an epic showdown. On one side, the Indian Infantry Division, hungry for victory, and on the other side, loyal, dedicated Japanese soldiers dug in real good. As the clock advanced, reconnaissance teams scanned the battlefield. On January 14, 1945, they made a discovery. The Japanese were fortifying their positions in caves overlooking the beaches. Everyone hates campers, man. A formidable naval force was assembled. The escort carrier HMS Amir, the light crusader HMS Phoebe, and a fleet of destroyers including the HMS Rapid, Napier, and HMAS Norman, and Pathfinder, converged on the scene. The sloops Flamingo and HMIS Kisna joined the impressive fleet. Basically, the Avengers of Navy boats. Their tactic? Overwhelming firepower. An hour before the Indian Infantry Brigade prepared to land, the HMS Queen Elizabeth fired its 15-inch shells. A total of 69 rounds, rained down on enemy positions. They bombed the hell out of those caves and beaches. The destruction was impressive, and each shot was observed by aircraft from the escort carrier HSM Amir. The cruiser HMS Phoebe joined in the bombardment, while a fleet of aircraft including B-24 Liberators, North American B-25 Mitchells, and Republic P-47 Thunderbolts from the RAF 224 group under command of HQ RAF Bengal and Burma strafed and bombed the beaches. After the dust settled, the soldiers of the 71st Indian Infantry Brigade carried out their historic landing. The path of these soldiers was filled with dangers. A mine struck a motor launch and a landing craft, causing a slight delay. But filled with determination, they secured the beachhead by the afternoon, despite nasty waters. The 4th Indian Infantry Brigade moved quickly to occupy Kiakipu. The troops were tireless, advancing along the west coast, capturing Mayan. The Japs didn't want to surrender low. They offered fierce resistance. As the Indian Infantry Brigade advanced, they encountered growing resistance at Yambukchang. The Indian Infantry Brigade was ordered to change course, moving inland northeast toward Seine and then heading south toward the town of Ramree. The turning point came when British forces surrounded a Japanese stronghold. 900 desperate defenders abandoned their base and embarked on a journey through 9.9 miles of mangrove swamps. This is where the Japs messed up real bad. This path exposed them to tropical diseases, scorpions and mosquitoes, and worst of all, saltwater crocodiles. The saltwater crocodiles of Ramree Island can grow up to be 23 feet or more, although crocodiles over this size are rare. The crocodiles found around Ramree Island could reach these impressive sizes. They weren't picky eaters, they had a voracious appetite. They are opportunistic predators, which means that they can feed on a wide range of prey. They are known to consume fish, birds, mammals, and even other reptiles. They are also known to scavenge on carcasses. They are territorial and highly protective of their territories. They are known for their explosive strikes and powerful jaws. As the Japs waded through the murky waters, saltwater crocodiles lurking in the shadows saw an opportunity. They viewed the vulnerable soldiers as potential prey. Some of the Japanese soldiers, weakened by the constant fighting, fell victim to the saltwater crocodiles. After the Battle of Ramree Island, some scary accounts emerged revealing the fate of some of these Japanese soldiers. There's an account of General Jack Jacob of the Indian Army. After a few weeks, we managed to push the Japanese into the swamp on the other side of the island, which was teeming with crocodiles. They chose to risk the swamp rather than surrender. Only a few came out alive. Another account from Robert Duff, a veteran of the 26th Division who witnessed the massacre. Over 1,000 soldiers from the Japanese garrison retreated into the crocodile-infested mangroves. We went with boats and interpreters using loudspeakers to urge them to come out. Not a single one did. Saltwater crocodiles, some of them over 20 feet long, frequented these waters. It's not hard to imagine what happened to these Japanese soldiers who sought refuge in the mangroves. One thing I want to mention is that this story is considered a wartime myth and legend. It's surrounded by skepticism and debate among historians. It's not uncommon for stories to become exaggerated or distorted during chaotic times of war. Even though saltwater crocodiles are known to be territorial and aggressive, them launching a mass attack on humans would be unusual behavior. But in my opinion, I don't care what any history nerd says about it. I'm choosing to believe the soldiers who were actually there and witnessed this shit go down.